Court, attention! Superior Court number 11 of the State of New York. Honorable Judge Wilma Heath presiding.
People of the State of New York versus Karen Andre.
Ready, Your Honor.
Ready, Your Honor.
The defense may now proceed.
If Your Honor please, the prosecution has one more witness to introduce. Mr. John Graham Whitfield.
John Graham Whitfield.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
What is your name?
John Graham Whitfield.
What is your occupation?
I'm president of the Whitfield National Bank.
How were you related to the late John Faulkner?
I was his father-in-law.
It is obvious, Mr. Whitfield, that you are well qualified to pass judgment on financial matters. What was the state of Mr. Faulkner's business at the time preceding his death?
I shall say it was desperate, but not hopeless. My bank made a loan of $25 million to Mr. Faulkner in an effort to save his enterprises. Needless to say, that money is lost.
What prompted you to make that loan, Mr. Whitfield?
He is the husband of my only daughter, and her happiness has always been paramount to me. However, my motives for that loan were not entirely personal, realizing the countless tragedies for small investors that the crash will bring about. I consider it my duty to make each and every possible effort to try and prevent it.
Is it possible, Mr. John Graham Whitfield, that you would have raised such a considerable sum of money if you believe them hopelessly destined to crash?
Certainly not. It was a difficult undertaking, but I had full confidence that my business acumen would have prevented that crash had Faulkner lived.
He therefore had no reason to commit suicide as far as his business affairs were concerned.
He had every possible reason for remaining alive.
Now, Mr. Whitfield, what was your opinion of Mr. Faulkner in regard to his family life, in his relations with your daughter?
I would like to state here, Mr. Flint, that I have always regarded the home and the family as the most important institutions in our lives. And I can tell you that my daughter found perfect happiness in a married life with Mr. Faulkner.
Now, Mr. John Graham Whitfield, what was your opinion of John Faulkner?
It is only fair to admit that he had certain qualities of which I did not approve. We were as different as two human beings could be. I believe in one's duties above all. And John Faulkner never cared for anything but his own pleasure.
From your knowledge of him, Mr. John Graham Whitfield, do you consider it even minutely possible that John Faulkner committed suicide?
I consider it absolutely impossible.
Thank you, Mr. Whitfield. That is all.
Mr. Whitfield, were you very fond of your son-in-law?
Yes,
And you never disagreed with him? Never lost your temper in a quarrel?
Mr. Stevens, I never lose my temper.
If my memory serves me right, there was some kind of trouble at the time you made that stupendous loan to Mr. Faulkner. Wasn't there something said to the effect that you denied making the loan?
Purely a misunderstanding, I assure you, Mr. Stevens. Mr. Faulkner did make a somewhat unethical attempt to try and hasten that loan, which is quite unnecessary, since I granted the loan gladly, for my daughter's sake, of course.
You said that your fortune has been badly damaged by the Faulkner crash,
Yes,
and your financial situation is rather strained at present.
yes.
Then how could you afford to offer a $50,000 reward for the arrest and conviction of Gus Regan?
Objection, Your Honor. What has that got to do with the case?
Your Honor, I would like to have the privilege of explaining this.
Very well.
I did offer such a reward. I did it out of feeling or civic duty. This man, commonly known as Guts Regan, is a notorious criminal and offered the reward in hope of evidence that will make his arrest and conviction possible. Does this satisfy your curiosity, Mr. Stevens?
Mr. Whitfield, why did you leave for California in such a hurry before the beginning of this trial?
I think the answer is obvious. My daughter here was crushed by this sudden tragedy and I hastened to take her away to save her health and perhaps her life.
You love your daughter profoundly.
Yes,
You have made it a point that her every wish should be granted.
I can proudly say yes.
When she or you desire anything, you don't stop at the price, do
You
you?
don't have to.
Then would you refuse to buy the man she wanted?
Yes, Stevens!
You wouldn't stop if it took your entire fortune to break the first unbreakable man you'd ever met?
Your Honor, you're dead!
Objection sustained.
Now, Mr. Whitfield, are you going to tell us that your money had nothing to do with Mr. Faulkner dismissing Miss Andre, that no ultimatum was delivered to him?
You are quite mistaken in your insinuations, Mr. Stevens. My daughter had no more reason to be jealous of Miss Andre than she had to be of Faulkner's soiled underwear. All men are some at one time or the other.
I'd be careful of statements such as these, Mr. Whitfield. Remember that your daughter paid for what Karen Andre got free.
Your Honor, your Honor!
For the sake of yourselves! Who do you think you are? Do you know who I am? How dare you talk like that about my daughter? I crush you like a very cockroach, you impudent you!
That is just what I wanted to prove. That is all. Thank you, Mr. Whitfield.
Your Honor, we move that the defense counsel's outrageous remark, which has led to this incident, be stricken out.
The remark may go out.
The people rest.
Move that the case be dismissed for lack of evidence.
Denied.
Exception. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we cannot pass judgment on Karen Andre without passing it on John Faulkner. He had put himself beyond all present standards. Whether it was below or above them is a question for each of us to decide personally. But I'll ask you to remember that he was the man who said he needed no justifications for his actions. He was the justification. The man who said that laws were made for the fun of breaking them. If you remember that, you will understand that life into which he was thrown into in his last few months was as impossible to him as that of a tiger in a vegetarian cafeteria. And to escape it, he would be driven to the most desperate means, including suicide. Our first witness will be Jane Chandler.
Jane Chandler.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Your name,
Jane Chandler,
your occupation.
handwriting expert of the New York Police Department.
Do you recognize this letter?
Yes, it is the letter found in Mr. Faulkner's penthouse on the night of his death. I have been called upon to examine it.
What were you asked to determine?
I was asked to determine whether it was written by Mr. Faulkner.
What is your verdict?
This letter was written by John Faulkner.
Your witness?
Miss Chandler, it has been called to your attention that Miss Andre was in the habit of forging Mr. Faulkner's signatures at the time she was employed as secretary. What is your opinion of these signatures?
I can compliment Miss Andre on her art. The difference is very slight.
From Miss Andre's knowledge of Mr. Faulkner, is it possible that she would have forged the letter so perfectly as to escape detection?
It is not probable, but it is possible.
Thank you, Miss Chandler.
That's all. Seeger Junquist?
Seeger Junquist. You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do. What is your name?
Seeger Junquist.
What is your occupation?
My last job was secretary to Herr John Faulkner.
How long have you held that job?
Since beginning of November, since Miss Andre left.
What was your position before that?
Bookkeeper for Herr John Faulkner.
How long did you hold that job?
8 years.
Did Mr. Faulkner give you Miss Andre's position when she was dismissed?
Yes, he did.
Did Miss Andre instruct you in your new duties?
Yes, she did.
What was her behavior at that time? Was she angry, sorry, or resentful?
No, she was calm like always and explained everything carefully.
Did you notice any trouble between Miss Andre and Mr. Faulkner at that time?
Herr lawyer, there can be no more trouble between Miss Andre and Mr. Faulkner than you and your face in the mirror.
Have you ever witnessed any business conferences between Mr. Faulkner and Mr. Whitfield?
I never been present at conferences, but I've seen Herr Whitfield come to our office many times. Herr Whitfield, he not like Herr Faulkner.
What makes you think that?
I heard what he said one day. Herr Faulkner was desperate for money, and Herr Whitfield asked him, sarcastic like, what he was going to do if his business crashed. Herr Faulkner shrugged and said lightly, "Oh, commit suicide." Herr Whitfield looked at him and said strangely and coldly, "If you do, be sure you make a good job."
Mrs. Stevens. If Your Honor, please, I would like to report this incident which I consider as a hoax and whose purpose I would like to determine. A man has just called on the telephone and insisted on talking to me immediately. When informed it was impossible, he gave the following message just brought to me. Do not put Karen Andre on the stand until I get there.
I want to go on the stand right away, Mr. Stevens.
Why, Miss Andre?
Put me on the stand right now,
I'm
Stevens.
afraid it's impossible, Miss Andre. We have to finish the examination of Mr. Junquist.
Hurry up then.
I shall ask the defendant to refrain from further interruptions. Please sit down. Proceed, Mr. Stevens.
Now, Mr. Junquist, where were you on the night of January 16th?
I was working in our office in the Faulkner building. I've been working late for many nights.
What did you do when you heard of Mr. Faulkner's death?
I telephoned Herr Whitfield in his home in Long Island, but butler say he not home. I called his office in town, but no one answered. Then I have to tell Mrs. Faulkner that Herr Faulkner committed suicide.
And when you told her that, what were Mrs. Faulkner's first words?
She said, "For God's sake, don't give it to the newspapers."
That is all.
Wait a minute, Miss Andre. Why such a hurry? Whom are you expecting? Mr. Junquist, you've been employed by Mr. Faulkner for over 8 years, haven't you?
Yes.
Did you know all that time how crooked and criminal your vast operations were?
No, I did not.
Well, do you know now that he's a criminal and a swindler?
No, I do not know that.
You don't, eh? And you didn't know what all those brilliant financial operations of his were?
Herr lawyer, I knew Herr Faulkner did what other people not allowed to do, but I never wonder and I never ask. I knew it was not wrong.
And how do you know that?
Because he was Herr John Faulkner.
And he could do no wrong?
When little people like you and me meet a man like John Faulkner, we take off our hats and we bow. And sometimes we take orders, but we don't ask questions.
Splendid, my dear Mr. Junquist. Your devotion to your master is worthy of admiration. Now tell us, you'd do anything for him, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Are you very devoted to Miss Andre too?
Miss Andre was dear to Herr Faulkner.
Then such a little matter of a few lies would mean nothing to you.
Your Honor, we object.
Objection sustained.
Herr lawyer, Herr Faulkner is dead and cannot tell me to lie. But if I had choice, I'd lie for Herr Faulkner than tell truth for you.
For which statement I am more grateful than you can guess, Herr Junquist. That is all.
Karen Andre.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. That's useless. I'm an atheist.
The witness has to affirm regardless.
I affirm.
What is your name?
Karen Andre,
What was your last position?
secretary to John Faulkner.
How long have you held that position?
10 years.
Tell us about your first meeting with John Faulkner.
I answered his advertisement for a stenographer. Met him on a obscure side street of Stockholm. It's my first job in his first office.
Where did he meet you?
Well, the first time I met him, his mouth was insulting even when open. I didn't know if I wanted to kneel or slap his face. I didn't do either. I told him what I'd come for.
Did he hire you then?
No, he said I was too young and he didn't like me. But he threw a stenographer's pad at me and told me to get down to work. So I did.
And you worked all day?
All day. He dictated faster than he could talk. And he never took his eyes off me.
When did he first...
When did he first take me? That first day I met him.
How did that happen?
Well, he took a delight in giving me orders. It was as if he were cracking a whip over an animal he couldn't break. And I was afraid.
Because you didn't like that?
Because I liked it. So, when I finished my first 8 hours, I told him I was quitting. He just looked at me and didn't say anything. And then he asked me if I'd ever belonged to a man. And I said no, I hadn't. And he said he'd give me 1,000 krona if I'd go into the inner office and take my skirt off. And I said no, I wouldn't. And he said if I didn't, he'd take me. And I said try it. And he did. After a while, I picked up my clothes. But I stayed. I kept my job. I didn't go.
And you worked and lived and rose to success together ever since?
For 10 years, Mr. Stevens. When we made our first 1,000,000 krona, he took me to Vienna, where the orchestra played Sing Gypsy. And when we made 25 million krona, he took me to India, where human slaves are sacrificed to gods. And when we made 50 million krona, he took me to New York, where John had a plane to fly over the world, and the banner at his feet.
Can you tell us the success of Mr. Faulkner's personal fortune at the height of his success?
No, and he could tell you himself. John had no personal fortune. Every time we owed money to any of our companies, it was just crossed off the books and debited to the accounts of several other concerns. We prepared all the balance sheets ourselves.
Why did a man of Mr. Faulkner's genius resort to such methods?
John wanted to build a gigantic net, a net over the world. We owe dividends to people, dividends much higher than we actually earn.
When did Mr. Faulkner's business difficulties start?
Over a year ago,
What brought Mr. Faulkner to America this time?
a short-term loan of $10 million was due from the Whitfield National Bank. But Mr. Whitfield refused it, until, of course, his daughter came into the question.
How did that happen?
Well, John came one day and said, Karen, we have one piece of collateral left and you're holding it. And I said, what is it, John? And he said, Nancy Whitfield. It was very hard to say that, Mr. Stevens, but I said, yes, John, sure. And he asked, will that change things between us, Karen? And I said, no, it wouldn't.
Had Mr. Faulkner proposed to Miss Whitfield?
No, she had proposed to him.
How did that happen?
She took him to a lonely road and told him she'd kidnapped him and she wouldn't release him. And he said the ransom she wanted wasn't in circulation. And she said, money's never meant anything to me. I want you and you know that. You don't want me and I know that. But I pay for what I want and I have the price. And he said, what is the price? And she said, the extension of a certain $10 million loan you'll need to save your business. If you stay out of jail as a swindler, it can only be in the custody of Mrs. John Faulkner.
It's a lie. It's a shameless lie. Come. Quiet, please. Anyone disturbing the proceedings will be asked to leave the courtroom.
What was Mr. Faulkner's answer to that, Miss Andre?
He said, you're not buying any feelings, so you're not to expect any. And she said, money's never meant anything to me. Such was the bargain.
Was Mr. Whitfield eager to accept that bargain?
John said that Mr. Whitfield would have a stroke when he found out about his daughter's decision. But Miss Whitfield always got away in everything. And like others, it was agreed that the loan would be granted.
In other words, Faulkner sold himself as his last security.
Yes, and like others, it meant nothing to him.
Did you resent that marriage?
No, me and Mr. Faulkner always faced our business as a whole. This was just our hardest campaign.
Why did Faulkner dismiss you 2 weeks after his wedding?
It was Miss Whitfield's ultimatum. I had to be dismissed.
What reason did he offer for that refusal?
That John was keeping a mistress?
And did Mr. Whitfield grant the loan after you were dismissed?
No, he attached what's called a slight condition to it.
What was that condition?
He wanted the controlling enterprises in John's companies.
Did Faulkner agree to that?
No, he said he'd rather pile up all his stock certificates and strike a match.
And did Mr. Whitfield grant the loan?
No, John took it.
How did that happen?
By forging Mr. Whitfield's signature on $25 million worth of securities.
How do you know that?
I helped him do it.
Did this help Mr. Faulkner?
Only shortly, certain dividend payments were coming due and we could not meet them.
How did Faulkner take the situation?
He knew it was the end.
What were his plans, Miss Andre?
Well, Mr. Stevens, you don't find men like John Faulkner cringing before bankruptcy commission, and neither do you find them locked up in jail.
And the alternative?
John was going to leave the world as and when he pleased. He defied its every law. Regan! I told you not to come, Regan!
Karen!
Regan, I told you!
Karen, you don't understand. You don't.
Larry, keep quiet. Your Honor, I demand this man not be allowed to testify.
Why not, Miss Andre?
Wait, don't say a word.
Stop her for God's sake.
Your Honor, this man loves me. He'll do anything for me.
Karen, you don't understand. Your sacrifice is useless. John Faulkner is dead.
John? Dead?
Yes, Karen.
John? Dead?
Didn't you already know it, Miss Andre?
Court, attention! Superior Court number 11 of the State of New York. Honorable Judge Wilma Heath presiding.
The people of the state of New York versus Karen Andre.
Ready, Your Honor.
If Your Honor please, I would like to report that I wish a reward for Regan's arrest, as he is obviously an accomplice in this murder. He was last seen with the defense counsel.
Keep your shirt on. Who's disappeared? What do you suppose I appeared for? To give you guys a little thrill? I'm staying here. If she's guilty, I'm guilty.
Very well.
The defense may now proceed.
Karen Andre. Miss Andre, when you took the stand yesterday, did you know the whole truth about this case?
No,
Do you wish to retract any of your testimony?
no.
When you first took the stand, did you intend to shield anyone?
Yes.
Whom?
John Faulkner.
Do you still find it necessary to shield him?
No. Not anymore.
Do you still claim that John Faulkner committed suicide?
John Faulkner did not commit suicide. He was murdered. I did not murder him. Believe me, it was not me. But you cannot let his murderer be unpunished. Not for my sake. I don't care what you do to him now. I've lied at the inquest. I've lied to my own attorney. But I'm here to tell you the truth. And whatever I've told you so far is the truth.
You You had started telling us about Mr. Faulkner's way out of his difficulties, Miss Andre?
Yes, Mr. Stephen, that I told you before. John was going to leave the world. I did throw a man's body off the penthouse, but that body was dead before I threw it. That body was not John Faulkner.
Please explain this to us, Miss Andre.
John wanted to be gone from the world. No searches, no investigations. He'd already kept $10 million from the Whitfield National Bank forgery aside for this. And we needed someone to help us. And the only one such person who was not connected to John in any way possible was Regan.
What made you believe that Mr. Regan would be willing to help in so dangerous an undertaking?
He loved me.
And he agreed to help you in spite of that?
He agreed to help me because of that.
What was the plan, Miss Andre?
Regan was to get a corpse on the night of January 16th. And that night, if you remember correctly, Mr. Stevens, Lefty O'Toole, a gunman, was killed by rival gangsters. That was not Regan's work. However, his body did disappear from his mother's house. Now that was Regan's work. So, Lefty O'Toole's hair, height, and measurements were exactly the same as John's.
Was that the extent of Mr. Regan's help?
No. Regan used to be a transport pilot, and he was to fly John to South America on the night of January 16th. John had already transferred the $10 million to 3 banks in Buenos Aires in the name of Ragnar Hedin. Until then, myself, John, and Regan were never to meet. Until a month later, when we were meant to meet in Hotel Buenos Aires.
And what happened on January 16th, Miss Andre?
That night, John came to my house. I'll never forget his smile. We ate dinner together and then we left. We went to Regan's place where he had the corpse dressed in traveling clothes. We left Regan's place and went back to my place. John, if I remember correctly, wanted to be seen entering the building, so I did not use my key. And I rang the doorbell. The night watchman came and he opened the door. We all went upstairs and John and Regan supported the body as if he were a drunken friend. We reached upstairs and John wrote the letter and he exchanged clothes with the corpse.
And then what happened?
And then a few minutes later he left. He went, he was gone. I saw him go down, 50 floors down, the elevator ticking.
And then?
And then a few minutes later, Regan left. It was cold and dark. I went into my room. I didn't want to be out in the parapet where the body was. So I went into the room and I just lay there on the bed. And I buried my head in John's robe. After an hour, I got up. I tore my dress to make it look as if it was a struggle. And then I went out onto the parapet. It was so cold, so silent, and I looked down. And then I threw the body down. It went down, 50 floors down, and I thought John's troubles went with it. But I never knew that his life went too.
That is all, Miss Andre.
I must confess, Miss Andre, that there is not much left for me to do. You've done all my work yourself. Now tell us, did John Faulkner have the clear conception of the difference between right and wrong?
John never knew the difference between right and wrong. To him it was always you can or you cannot, and he always could.
And what about you? Didn't you object to helping him in all those crimes?
To me it was always he wants or he doesn't.
You said that John Faulkner loved you.
Yes.
Did he ever ask you to marry him then?
No, what for, Mr. Flint?
Don't you know there are laws made for situations such as these, Miss Andre?
Laws made by whom, Mr. Flint, and for whom?
Miss Andre, did your attorney warn you that anything you say here can be held against you?
I'm here to tell the truth.
Very well. You loved John Faulkner,
Yes,
such as he was?
because he was such as he was.
Exactly, Miss Andre. Now what would you do if a woman were to take away from you the man you worship so insanely? If she appealed to his soul, not to his animal desires, as you seem to have done so successfully? If she changed the ruthless scoundrel in him that you loved into her own ideal of an upright man, would you still love him?
Your Honor, we object!
Sustain.
I would like the district attorney to know that he's insulting John Faulkner's memory.
You do? But he thought nothing of him by having an affair with a gangster?
Damn!
Larry, keep quiet. Regan loved me, Mr. Flint. I did not love him.
And he did not demand the usual price for his help?
He demanded nothing.
You were the only one who knew of all of Faulkner's criminal activities.
Yes,
You could send him at jail at any time.
I would never do that.
But you could if you'd want to.
I suppose so.
Isn't that the clear explanation of Faulkner's visits to you after his marriage? John Faulkner had reformed. He wanted to avoid a crash, but you had it over his head. Wasn't it fear, not love, Miss Andre, that held him in your hands?
John never knew the word fear, Mr. Flint.
Miss Andre, who knew of the transfer of $10 million to Buenos Aires?
John, myself, and Regan.
And Regan. Now, Faulkner could have had perfectly legitimate business reasons for that transfer.
I don't know of any, Mr. Flint.
You mean you won't tell of any, Miss Andre? Now, Faulkner kept you in extravagant luxury for over 10 years. You enjoyed platinum gowns and other little things like that. You hated to change your mode of living. You hated to see him turn his fortune over to investors, to see him poor, didn't you, Miss Andre?
I was never to see him poor.
No, of course not. Because you and your gangster lover here were going to murder him and take the $10 million no one knew
Your Honor, we
about.
object!
Objection sustained.
You heard it testified that Faulkner had no reason to commit suicide. He had no more reason to escape from the first happiness he had ever known. And you hate him for that happiness.
You don't understand John Faulkner, Mr. Flint.
Miss Andre, maybe, just maybe, I don't. But let me see if I understand you correctly. You were raped by a man the first day you saw him. You lived with him in a brazenly illicit relationship for over 10 years. You defrauded thousands of investors the world over. And you cultivated a friendship with a notorious gangster. And you were involved in a $25 million forgery. And you told us all this proudly, flaunting your defiance of all decency. And you don't expect us to believe that you are capable of murder, Miss Andre?
You're mistaken, Mr. Flint. I am capable of murder for John Faulkner's sake.
Thank you, Miss Andre. That's all.
Lawrence Regan.
You saw me swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
What is your name?
Lawrence Regan.
What is your occupation?
Unemployed.
How long have you known Karen Andre?
About 5 months.
Where did you meet her?
In Faulkner's office. I went there to do some business with her boss. I gave up the business because I met his secretary.
How did you happen to become friendly with Miss Andre?
Well, the first meeting wasn't exactly friendly. She wouldn't let me in to see Faulkner. She said I had enough money by the pound and had no business with her boss. I said I'd think it over, and I left. I thought it over. Only I didn't think of the business. I thought of her. The next day I sent her a pound of orchids. Ever seen how many that makes? That's how it started, Mr. Stevens.
Did you know of Miss Andre's relations with Mr. Faulkner?
I knew it before I ever saw her. What of it? I knew it was hopeless.
You never expected Miss Andre to share your feeling?
No.
You never made any attempt to force it upon her?
Do you have to know all that?
I'm afraid we do.
I kissed her. Once. By force. It was on the night of Faulkner's wedding. She was alone. She was so unhappy. And I was so crazy about her. She told me it was useless. I never wanted her to know, but she knew. We never mentioned it since.
When did Miss Andre first tell you of Faulkner's planned escape?
About 2 weeks before we actually pulled it.
Was Lefty O'Toole one of your men?
No.
Were you connected with his murderers in any way?
No, Mr. Stevens.
You actually had no definite knowledge of his planned murder?
No. I just had a way of guessing.
And what happened on January 16th?
It all happened as Miss Andre has told you. But she only knows half of the story. I know the rest.
Tell us what happened after you left the penthouse.
I left 10 minutes after Faulkner did. He had taken my car. I had one of my men leave another car for me at the door. I stepped on it. Full speed.
Where did you go?
To Meadow Lane. 10 miles out in Kings County. Faulkner was to get there first and wait for me. I had gone there earlier in the evening, and I had left my plane there for him.
What time did you get there?
About midnight. There was a bright moon. I turned off the road, and I saw the tire tracks in the mud where Faulkner's car had passed. Then I drove into the lane, and I thought I'd lost my mind. The plane was gone.
What did you do?
I searched around that very lane for 2 hours. Faulkner's car was there, where he had agreed to hide it. It was empty. The lights were turned off. The keys were in the switch. Then I saw the tire tracks in the mud where the plane had taken off. But Faulkner couldn't fly it himself.
Did you search for any clues for this mystery?
Oh, I searched like a bloodhound.
Did you find anything?
I did. One thing. A car.
What kind of a car?
It was hidden on the other side of the lane behind the bushes. It was a big, black sedan.
What did you do?
I wanted to know whose car it was. So I smashed the window and I crawled to the back seat. And I settled down to wait.
How long did you have to wait?
The rest of that night.
And then?
Then the owner came back. I saw him coming. His face looked queer. He had no hat. His clothes were all wrinkled and grease-spotted.
What did you do?
I pretended to be asleep in the back seat. He approached. He opened the door, and then he saw me, and he gave a start and a yell as if he had been struck in the heart. His nerves must have been jittery.
Then what did you do?
I stretched, and I rubbed my eyes and said, "Oh, it's you. Fancy such a meeting." I don't think he liked it. He said, "Who the hell are you and what are you doing here?" I said, "The name's Guts Regan. You must have heard of it." Well, I was in a little bit of trouble and I had to hide for a while, and finding this car here was quite a convenience. He replied saying, "I'm sorry, but I'll have to ask you to get out. I'm in a hurry."
Did you get out?
No, far from it. I said, "What's the hurry?" He said, "None of your business." I smiled and I explained, "It's not for me." Well, it happens that a certain friend of mine is a columnist, and he would appreciate a story of a gentleman of your prominence found wandering in the wilderness at milkman time. But I'm sure he would like to have the rest of it.
What did the man say?
At first, he said nothing. Then he looked at me, took out a checkbook. I shrugged and I looked at him. Then he said, "Would $5,000 be a suitable token of appreciation to keep your mouth shut?" I said, "It'll do. Lawrence Regan's the name." He wrote out the check to me. I have it. Here it is.
I offer this check in evidence.
What's all this nonsense? Who was the man, Regan?
Who was the man, Mr. Regan?
Let that clerk read that check to you, Stevens.
Kindly read the check.
17th January. Paid to the order of Lawrence Regan, a sum of $5,000. Signed, John Graham Whitfield.
What kind of an outrage is this?
I demand to see that check.
Quiet, please. If there are any more demonstrations of this kind, I shall order the courtroom cleared.
We offer this check in evidence.
Objection, Your Honor.
Objection overruled. Admitted in evidence.
What did you do after you received the check, Mr. Regan?
I took the check. I put it in my pocket, and I thanked him. Then I drew out my gun, and I stuck it in his ribs, and I said, "Now, you lousy bastard, where did you take Faulkner?" He opened his mouth like a fish choking, and he couldn't say a word.
Your Honor, is this man to be allowed to make such statements about me in private, in public, about me in my presence?
The witness is allowed to testify. If it's proved to be perjury, he will suffer the consequences. Proceed.
What did he answer, Mr. Egan?
At first he muttered, I don't know what you're talking about. But then I jammed the gun harder and I said, cut it out! I have no time to waste. I'm in on it, and so are you.
Did you get any information out of him?
Oh, not a word. I didn't want to kill him. Yet. He said if you expose me, you'll expose the fake suicide and Faulkner will be found. I asked him if Faulkner was alive. He said, go and ask him. I talked, and I threatened. It was no use. It was no use.
Then did you try to find Faulkner?
I didn't lose a second. I rushed back to my apartment. I changed my clothes. I grabbed a sandwich and an airplane, and I flew to Buenos Aires. I searched. I advertised in papers. I got no answer. No one called the banks for Ragnar Heden's millions.
Did you try to communicate about this with Miss Andre?
Miss Andre, we had promised to stay away from each other for a month. And she had been arrested for Faulkner's murder. I laughed when I read that, Mr. Stevens. But I couldn't say a word. Not to betray him, if he was still alive. I waited.
What were you waiting for?
February 16th, Hotel Continental in Buenos Aires. I set my teeth, and I waited every second of every minute of every hour of that day. But Faulkner didn't come.
Then
I knew he was dead. So I got a plane and I flew back to New York, and I started a search for my airplane. We found it. We found it yesterday.
where did you find it?
In a deserted valley somewhere in New Jersey, about 100 miles out from Kings County. It had been landed and set fire to it.
Was the plane empty?
No. There was a body of a man in it.
Could you identify him?
No one could. It was nothing but a burnt skeleton. But the height was the same. It was Faulkner. I examined the body, or whatever was left of it. I found 2 bullet holes, one in the ribs, right above the heart, and the other one was straight through the right hand. Faulkner did not die without putting up a fight. He must have been disarmed first, shot through the right hand, and murdered, defenseless, straight through the heart.
That's all, Mr. Egan.
Just what is your business, Mr. Regan?
You'd like me to answer that, wouldn't you?
Your Honor, we object. The witness has a right not to answer that question.
Objection sustained.
Mr. Regan, what do you do when prospective clients refuse to pay you protection?
I am legally allowed not to understand what you're talking about, Flint.
Very well. You don't have to understand. May I question you as to whether you read the newspapers, Mr. Regan?
You may.
Well,
Question me.
will you kindly state whether you read the newspapers, Mr. Regan?
Occasionally.
Did you read Mr. James Buckingham's Jr. refused to pay protection to a certain gangster? His magnificent country house in Westchester was destroyed by an explosion just after the guest left, missing a wholesale slaughter. What was that, Mr. Regan? A coincidence?
A remarkable coincidence, Mr. Flint. Just after the guests left.
Did you read when Mr. Van Dorn refused to...
Your Honor, we object. Such questions are irrelevant.
Objection sustained.
So, you had no ill feeling towards Faulkner for the failure of your business with him?
No.
Now, Mr. Guts, I beg your pardon, Mr. Lawrence Regan, what would you do if someone were to take the woman you love so much and rape her.
I'd cut his throat with a dull saw.
You would? And you expect us to believe that you, Guts Regan, gangster, outlaw, scum of the underworld, would step aside with a grand gesture and throw the woman you love so much into another man's arms?
I loved her, Mr. Flint.
You did? Then why do you allow Faulkner to visit her after his marriage?
I had nothing to say about that.
No, you did not. You did not hold a blackmail plot over his head.
Oh, what? You got any proof of that?
Her association with you is the best move, Mr. Regan.
Objection!
Sustained.
How did you kill Faulkner in the penthouse at night?
Objection!
Sustained.
Where's your other accomplice, Mr. Regan, the man who played the drunk?
I can give you his exact address. Evergreen Cemetery, Whitfield Family Memorial. Probably the swankiest place poor Lefty had ever been to.
Now, let me get this clear. You claim that the man buried in Evergreen Cemetery is Lefty O'Toole, and the man you found in the burned plane is John Faulkner?
Yes, Mr. Flint.
And what is it to prove that it is not the other way around, Mr. Regan? Supposing, just supposing, you did steal O'Toole's body. What is it to prove that you did not stage this fantastic thing yourself in a desperate attempt to save your mistress? We've heard her testify that you would do anything for her, that you would lie for her,
Don't
Mr. Regan.
object!
Sustained.
Where's your real proof, Mr. Regan?
Mr. Flint, you're a district attorney. And everyone over here knows who I am. I loved her. She loved Faulkner. That's our only proof.
Thank you, Mr. Regan. That is all.
John Graham Whitfield. Mr. Whitfield, where were you on the night of January 16th?
I believe I was in New York on business.
Do you have any witnesses who can prove it?
Mr. Stevens, I hope you realize that I am not in the habit of providing myself with alibis. I have never had any reason whatsoever of providing myself, of organizing what I do. I have never had any reason to keep track of what I do.
How many cars do you own, Mr. Whitfield?
4.
What are they?
One of them is a big black sedan, in case that's what the question is. However, may I remind you that it is not the only big black sedan in New York City.
You have just recently arrived from California by plane.
Yes,
You flew it yourself?
yes,
You're a licensed pilot then.
obviously,
Now, that story of Mr. Regan's is nothing but a lie in your opinion, isn't it?
it is.
Then who wrote that $5,000 check?
I did.
Will you kindly explain it?
Certainly, Mr. Stevens. But we all know what Mr. Regan's profession is. He threatened to kill my daughter, and I preferred to pay him out rather than taking any chances with her life.
The check was dated January 17th. On that same day, you offered your reward for Regan's arrest, didn't you?
Yes. Well, I hope you realize, Mr. Stevens, that apart from civic duty, I also care about something like my daughter's life.
Mr. Whitfield, your daughter and your fortune are your most cherished possessions, aren't they?
Yes, they are.
Then what would you do to the man who took your money and deserted your daughter for another woman? Objection, Your Honor!
Sustained.
You hated Faulkner. You wanted to break him. You suspect his intention of staging suicide. The words Mr. Junquist heard you say prove it. Didn't you?
I suspected nothing of that kind.
And on January 16th, didn't you spend the day watching Faulkner?
No?
Weren't you following him in your black sedan? Didn't you follow him as soon as he left his penthouse?
And how would I recognize him, Mr. Stevens? Van Fleet, the detective, didn't.
Van Fleet wasn't watching for a trick. He had no suspicion of the plot. You had.
My dear Mr. Stevens, how on earth would I know the plot for that night?
Didn't you have any particular information of Faulkner's activities at the time?
No,
You heard of nothing unusual that day.
nothing at all.
For instance, you did not hear that he transferred $10 million to Buenos Aires?
I had nothing of it.
I did it! I killed John Faulkner! God help me! I had that man kill John Faulkner! The whole truth, so help me God! I didn't know, but I see it now! He killed Faulkner because he died, he knew about the 10 million, I told him!
That's all, Mr. Whitfield.
No questions.
Kindly take a stand, Mr. Junquist. Mr. Jonquist, you told Mr. Whitfield about that transfer.
Yes, he asked me many times about it, but it was supposed to be a secret. But I told him at noon that day, January 16th.
You told Whitfield at noon.
Yes. God have pity on me, I would give my life for that Faulkner, but I helped kill him.
That is all.
Mr. Jonquist, who was with you when you said that to Mr. John Gray Whitfield?
No one.
So it is your word against Mr. John Graham Whitfield's then?
Yes.
That is all.
The defense rests.
Any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
The defense attorney may now proceed with the closing argument.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you are here to decide the fate of a woman. But much more than one woman is here on trial. Before you pronounce your verdict on Karen Andre, think of your verdict on John Faulkner. Do you believe that he was the kind of man who would bow, renounce, and repent? If you do, she's guilty. But if you believe in this sad, half-hearted world of ours, a man can still be born with life singing in his veins, a scoundrel, a swindler, a criminal, call him anything, but still a conqueror. If you value a strength that is its own motor, an audacity that is its own law, a spirit that is its own vindication, if you are able to admire a man who, no matter what mistakes he may have made in form, had never betrayed his essence, his self-esteem, if deep in your hearts you felt a longing for greatness and for a sense of life beyond the lives around you, if you have known a hunger which great timidity can't satisfy, you'll understand John Faulkner. If you do, you will understand the woman who was his priestess. Who is on trial in this case? Karen Andre? No, it's you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, who are here on trial. It is your own souls that will be brought to light when your decision is rendered.
The district attorney may now conclude the case.
Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, for once, I agree with the defense counsel. Two different types of humanity are opposed in this case, and your verdict will have to decide which side you choose to believe. You are asked by the defense to take the side of a swindler, a harlot, and a gangster against a man who is the model of social respectability and a woman who is everything the ideal of pure woman has been for centuries. You are asked, on one side, you see a life of service, duty, and unselfishness, and on the other, a steamroller of sensual indulgence and egoistic ambition. I agree with the defense counsel that the judgment passed on this case will be passed deep within your own souls. If you believe that man is placed on this earth for a purpose higher than his own enjoyment, if you believe that love is not all in the bedroom, but in your kitchen, in your parlor, in your nursery, if you believe that the cozy fireside of a home is still the most sacred ideal a man can aspire to, you will believe that simple virtue is more powerful than arrogance, and that a man like John Faulkner will be brought before it. Let your verdict tell us that none shall raise his head too high in defiance of our common standards.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have to give your verdict. I shall ask you to consider your verdict carefully. You are to determine whether Karen Andre is guilty or not guilty of the murder of John Faulkner.
The gentleman had to help him. They almost dragged him into the elevator.
She was hoisting a body up on the parapet. A man in evening clothes. Faulkner. He was unconscious. No resistance. She pushes him with all her strength. He falls down into space.
I enjoy only two things in the world whose every door was open to me. My whip over the world and Karen Andre.
He had platinum gown made for her. She wore it on her naked body. And if it burned her shameless skin, she laughed like the pagan she is. And he kissed the bird, wild, like a tiger.
We were planning to have a modest little home with a bright kitchen and a little flower garden. It would be just the two of us until we had little ones to take care of.
I had full confidence that my business acumen would have prevented that crash had Faulkner lived.
It is not probable that the letter was forged, but it is possible.
Herr Faulkner shrugged and said lightly, "Oh, commit suicide." Herr Whitfield looked at him and said strangely and coldly, "If you do, be sure you make a good job of it."
John never knew the difference between right or wrong. To him it was always you can or you cannot. And to me it was always he wants or he doesn't.
Do you think we're both so low that if something happens to pass us to which one kneels, that we no longer have eyes to see it? I loved her. She loved Faulkner. That's our only proof.
The defendant will rise and face the jury.
Clerk, collect the verdict. The jury finds the defendant not guilty.
Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you in the name of John Faulkner.
We thank you all, ladies and gentlemen, for coming here and watching our play. And I would like to thank you all again and again. And we also want to thank ASB and Jamna Bai and Russell Square students for coming here and watching our play. We, the DP Theatre Arts students, also want to thank all those people for the wonderful efforts and their cooperation which made this play a possibility. Now I would like to invite the following people so that we can pay our gratitude to them. I invite Mr. Rami Madani. Miss Helen Stanton. Miss Darlene Fisher. Miss Kavita Sukhani. Miss Melanie Dickinson. Mrs. Sidit Jacob. Miss Kajal Manglani. Miss Lulu Fernandez. And of course, Mr. Hidayat Sami. Miss Aarti Sharma. Dr. Krishna. He doesn't seem to be present with us now. Mr. Ramakant. He doesn't seem to be present either. Ms. Shweta Kotekar. Who doesn't seem to be present either. Mr. Shashin Lad. Who doesn't seem to be present either. Mr. Mukesh Ruchani. Who doesn't seem to be present either. Mr. Vikas. Who doesn't seem to be present either. Mr. Prakash. Who doesn't seem to be present either. Ms. Sushma. Who is not present either. Mr. Ganesh. Who is present? And of course, how can we not thank Miss Amla, without whom this would not
there really
And of course,
isn't
we would like to
another
thank
word.
Ms. Stern too.
There really isn't another word to say because you've said it all so well. But on behalf of the school itself, I want to thank Ms. Alma for all her work. I want to thank the students for their focus, their dedication, their hard work, their talent, and we're very proud of all of them tonight. It takes a whole school to put on a play like this, and all the people that you saw and that they thanked so nicely made it possible. But thank you, students, for your hard work. You've done a great
Thank you, guests. Thank you so much for your cooperation.